connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, @RealNerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Paul Caroli, and I host a podcast called Changing Denver. It's a monthly show about our city's physical spaces, how we make them, and how they make us. But it's so much more than that. It's the conversations, ideas, and stories that define Denver's perpetual state of flux. Find more from our team at changingdenver.com and join the conversation on Twitter @ChangingDenver. Denver's changing. We can help.
Hello, everybody. I'm JD Lopez, the host of Left Hand Right Brain. It's a free-flowing, wide-ranging conversation that I have with artists doing interesting and creative things here in Denver and beyond. We talk about their personal stories, break down their creative process, and what motivates them. Spoiler alert, it's mostly spite. We talk about all these things and more while kicking back, cracking wise, and always having a good time. You can find old episodes and everything you need to know at lefthandrightbrainpod.com.
Do you remember where you were when we elected a Sasquatch president?
How about when you learned Ben Franklin was a robot?
Or first heard Stalin's mixtape?
I'm Zach Powers.
I'm Brian Flynn, and we host The Revisionists.
Each episode, one person explains real history and another tells an alternate version.
And the winner becomes the truth. We let comics from Denver and around the country run wild through history.
It's an in-depth look at history, but with more Babadooks.
Check out The Revisionists, available every other Saturday.
Wherever you get podcasts and at revisionistpodcast.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Giles.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the Beyond the Trope podcast.
Every week, we delve into topics like pop culture, fiction writing, and other nerdy things.
We feature laid-back conversations, bad puns, and in-depth interviews with authors, comic creators, and more.
Find our show at beyondthetrope.com.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Palmiotti, and you're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Now pay attention and stop playing with your dick.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2018 and beyond. A couple of weeks ago, these fucking dipshits did this once-in-a-lifetime launch of the Denver Podcast Network. I wasn't there, so it was garbage. But everybody else's was awesome.
Yeah.
And if you want to listen to it, here it is, uninterrupted, on Real Nerds Podcast.
That was mean.
I am a dipshit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Denver Podcast Network launch party. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here. Give it up for Mutiny Information Cafe for letting us do that, or this here, for Jim and Corey behind the bean bar, giving us those drinks, all right? That Pablo's coffee. Who doesn't like that?
Love it.
I'm JD Lopez.
I'm Brian Flynn.
All right, and I host Left Hand Right Brain.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was like I didn't remember. All right, I do this all the time.
Yeah, left hand,
All right.
right brain.
Yeah, right?
See?
Brain. Got it. It's a confusing title. A lot of people don't like it,
Yeah. Sorry, I did Edward G. Robinson there for a second.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. Who is that?
You're too young.
Okay. All right. Well, as I'm really easing into my my winter bod here because this is all my equipment. This is how I usually do it, just like this.
I am just pretending I can't do that right now, just to save face.
No, you're looking fit, bud.
Oh,
You're looking fit. All right. Well, you just want to sit down here,
Yeah.
intro the people. So the Denver Podcast Network is a collection of all local podcasts, the finest podcasts here in the Denver area. Oh, thank you. Yes. Give it up for them. We came together to form a brand new podcast network that we're very excited about and want to introduce you guys to. So what we're doing here is going to be a little snapshot of each podcast on the network. All right. And I think we're going to start off with mine, right? Left Hand Right Brain. You guys are in it right now. You didn't even know. That's how it goes. Whoa. Pretty psychedelic. I know. Is that the right word, psychedelic? No. Okay, thank you. I think that's Beyond the Trope guy over there. He knows words, all right? And he will use his big vocabulary on you. Anyway. Yeah, so mine's a conversation where we talk to creatives from all over the creative spectrum, creatives creating. And, I got Brian right here, Brian Flynn.
Hello.
There he is. All right, yeah. He's a comedian, right? You do some comedy here and around town,
Comedy, writing.
Maybe talking into the microphone.
I was about to say podcasting, but that seems kind of obvious right now.
There it is.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, you got to get up on these microphones, like you're...
Also, I am on the most Dayquil possible right now. So
Whoa, rolling hard today.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you
Sunday
sick?
night.
Sunday night, rolling deep.
Yeah.
You got that scissor.
Yeah, right in that little orange kitty.
Okay. All right, he's on a different level. All right, already, guys. So you do some comedy around town. You've been doing it for a couple of years, I've seen you around the scene. You've been doing it. So I guess my first question, I want to ask you, who do you think you are? What gives you the right,
That is the thing I ask myself every single morning. I don't know. I think I'm okay. I can't stop doing it at this point. So
there you go. That's the thing. It seems to be the thing with creatives is just they don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to do it despite people saying, why?
It's the thing where you...
why? And I'm like, God, get off my back, Dad. That's just me.
You could have been such a good violist or whatever.
Yeah, or what?
Whatever our dreams used to be.
How'd you know that's what my dad wanted me to do?
You got a violist face.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
I did not mean... I don't know what it means, but I didn't mean it as an insult.
I won't take it as one then. All right.
Left Hand, Right Brain, though, you have had some really amazing people on the show, and it's a really, really great show. I love listening to it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Like, of the shows where it is creative people talking about their own creativity, I will say it avoids the very irritating trap a lot of those fall into, and I think you do a very good job of that, and I wanted to tell you that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I asked the hard-hitting questions, let me give you this one. Pie or cake? Huh? That's
Pie.
a good one. Pie?
Yeah.
No, that's obviously wrong.
Death to cake.
What?
I take a hard line on this.
All right, just a round of applause from the audience to see who's into pie or cake. Okay. All right. Well, this is just something... I'm asking the hard-hitting questions today, guys. It's been in my life. I've actually been applying for a lot of different jobs recently. I'm in the market. Yeah, I'm in the unemployment market or the employment market. I was. There's this place I love on Colfax called Humble Pie. Right, used to be here in the bake, and they I've applied like 3 times, and I feel like they won't hire me because I want it too much.
Yeah. One and like checking back in. That's like the sweet spot. 3 is you want to get in here for some illicit reason.
I just want pie. I was like, we'll work for pie. I think I'm actually hurting myself, with that. It's like I'll work an 8-hour shift for one slice of blueberry.
You're like a Victorian orphan in that way.
I just ride in on a whiff of pie.
You're carving like hobo code.
I'll take all of them. So that is where all my money went. So, but I ended up I did get a job here in the weed industry.
Mazel tov.
Thank you, L'chaim. Is that the right response to that?
Next year in Jerusalem.
Those went over my head. I'm not going to lie to you. Just getting back, I've been working in a weed shop, and I've been in a haze pretty much since. But, I mean, I think one of the hardest things doing something creative, in the stage that we are, is you have to have a day job still to support yourself, and then you go out and you do your creative thing at night.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, but you're a student at the moment. You're doing...
I'm a student, bouncing day job, comedy, podcasts, and school, which is insane. I'm a student at Metro State for writing, and it's kind of killing me a little bit right now.
Yeah, writing.
I love it, but the last couple of weeks have been a nightmare.
So it's like creative writing...
Yeah.
So you're just writing jokes the
useless.
whole time? You're just zinging the professor the whole time? Just a bunch of one-liners?
Like the first few weeks, I just had my notebook sitting out in class being like, okay, these 18-year-olds are going to get it. And I'm just like, I need to actually pay attention, and I don't care enough about any of these people to actually make fun of them. So...
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Rise above the influence, I think.
Yeah,
is that what that
exactly.
is? Yeah.
My anti-drug is not giving a shit about anything else.
Well, I think a lot of for us stand-ups, we got to pull from what we're doing, and I think one of the funniest things I've noticed with applying at the weed job is like they do ask you some really stoner questions during the interviews.
Oh my God, what?
They do like most of the regular stuff, like. Oh, how'd you find us? Things like that. But then it does get a little weird at the end because they want to like put themselves, like, oh, we're different. Our industry's different. There are a lot of stoners, like 3 stoners just staring at you, and they're like, one guy was like, where do you see me in 5 years?
Are you serious?
No, okay, that one was.
That is
no,
amazing.
they did ask me. He's like, if you could smoke weed with anybody, alive or dead, who would that be?
That's a much worse question than the one you made up.
Yeah, that one was a little hard, but I think I got him with a good one. I was like, "You guys, obviously." And they're like, "Whoa!"
And then you were like, "Whoa!"
Whoa! Yeah, and we did that for another 5 minutes. And they're like, "So anyway, that's why I think I'd be perfect for this job." And I'm like, "Dude, you're interviewing me!" Like, come on. Man, it's like, what if we were in the Matrix right now, right? What if red was green? I'm like, I don't know, smoke some weed. Am I right? And they're like, "Yeah, nice."
That's a much better tactic than mine, which is like, I don't like weed.
Yeah, then you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you shouldn't tell them that right
Yeah,
away.
that did not work. It's like when I applied for a Lyft when I was super drunk.
You're like, I could do better than this guy. You just got Lyft home, and you're like,
come
fuck
on.
this.
I could do this.
Do you know how many comics work for Lyft though in this town?
Oh,
it's like
it's Lyft and weed,
Lyft
and
and
Uber
weed.
a little bit, and maybe Postmates. Though it's weird how the Denver economy is being built to just employ comics basically at this point.
It does seem that way, yeah. If you do order a Lyft or Postmates, like 8 out of 10, it's going to be a comedian coming to your door.
Yeah.
Or coming pulling up.
Yeah, it's. I feel like I can't tell if that like preceded or followed the boom in the Denver comedy scene.
It had to have followed, right? Because you get the influx of people, and then they all need jobs.
Although I feel like we had a lot of comedians moving here after weed, just like in a trickle.
Oh, okay, yeah, for the weed industry.
So I don't know. They're kind of like married together.
Oh man! And then I've been training at this place. I can't say the name just because there's.
Okay.
I signed a lot of paperwork. I'm not sure what's on all of it.
Let's call it Toki Carmichael's.
All right, Toki Carmichael's. And
few people get that.
Again, went over my head. Is this another?
Okay, sorry.
Assalamu alaikum.
Dayquil?
Dayquil. Yeah, blame it on the Dayquil. Yeah. Awesome. That's good. I think that's a good for every one of your jokes. When you're on stage, if it doesn't go well.
Oh, I know that
could be the
my
new
thing.
like I'm high. I'm super high right now.
That's my new get her done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dayquil. Dayquil, y'all. Anyway. All right, back to being creative. How does a Dayquil help or hinder your comedy or your writing?
Well, I was not kidding when I say I don't like weed. I've never really even smoked. I don't really drink all that much. When I do, I notice.
What are your vices then? Ice cream?
Actually, yes. Ice cream, hummus. If hummus counts as a vice.
What brand?
Oh, I like Falafel King.
Oh, that's not a
Sabra.
basic hummus right there. That's like next level hummus.
Yeah, or I make my own.
All right,
also.
we're transitioning to hummus talk now. This is my second podcast. Just to let you
hummus
guys know.
talk. Welcome to the hummus zone.
No, I think I just want to wrap it up with being creative. I think I got a lot of people coming into the weed store and they're like, "Oh, this one helps me write," or "This one gives me like more of a heady high." And anything I've ever done with the cannabis just puts me down. I can't.
Right.
I'm just overwhelmed with anxiety and don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm doing it wrong. I guess
Doing
you're not the
weed
person
wrong
to
or
talk
doing writing wrong.
Possibly
Like I don't mean that
both.
insulting because I
All right,
feel
let's
like
do both. Yeah, okay.
no, because
You a morning papers type of guy? You get up and you write in the morning?
I mean, what I do is I have 5 jokes. I have to write 5 jokes every day, just before I go to bed. So timing doesn't matter necessarily for me. I do like doing it in the morning because I feel like I get better results. But sometimes it's just like desperate scrawl before I go to bed. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have to like have that routine, and I haven't necessarily found one that consistently works for me other than just doing work, you know? So when people say like,
Doing
oh, I need
the
this
work.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I get that from a lot of people.
Which is a very,
actually.
like...
And I'm like, no, give me some kind of wonder drug. All
No,
right?
can I smoke
Can I
work?
take these
Can
brain
I-
pills?
Can I crush it up? Is that injectable? I don't know. But like whatever works for people, or whatever lets people remove their own inhibitions so they think they can work.
For you, it's hummus.
Yeah, for me, it's hummus. I've ruined so many joke books because the pages are just stuck
Because of
together
hummus?
with.
Wow. All right. That's for another podcast. We're going to have to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to transition out of mine into Brian. Why don't you tell them what your podcast is about?
Well, I co-host a podcast called The Revisionists, which. Thank you. Which is an alternate history podcast. So each episode, my co-host Zach Powers and I welcome a guest, and we take a topic from
R.I.P.
his.
Zach. He's dead.
Yeah,
He's not-
he is.
Couldn't make it.
No, he is all the way in Chicago, so might as well be dead.
Yeah, might as well be dead.
Love you, Zach.
Anyone who couldn't make
We're
it here,
releasing
we're just
this.
assuming
I don't know
he's
what
dead,
the fuck
Just
I'm
so,
saying.
just so you know.
So we welcome a guest. We take a topic from history. One person presents the official version of events, and another person comes up with a crazy pants alternate history. And the winner, as decided by a judge and audience vote, goes on to become the truth. So it can and has to impact stories coming after it. So
this fake news thing, how's that affecting your podcast? And all this.
I feel like we were the original. The original,
And that's
not
really
even
what
the
you're
original
hanging
fake
your
news.
hat on, huh?
No,
The
the
original
Spanish-American
fake
War
news.
was the original fake news, actually, to come to think of it. Although today Donald Trump did say he invented the word fake, basically, which was my favorite thing.
Also, I invented that word. That's
Basically,
mine.
that's not that off from the actual quote. At this point, I'm like, fine, just as long as you're not hurting anyone. So,
All right, yeah. Let's get off Trump and get into this podcast.
It's
We
hard.
can go down a whole other way.
So I wanted to do something special for tonight, and I was going to find something from this day in history from Denver, but the newspaper archive I have access to for Denver only goes back to 1989, and I am not doing a history from when I was already born because that is super depressing.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that's when I was born. So does history not?
Yeah,
It starts when I was born. Interesting.
Yeah,
That's a little validating for me. Something
Yeah,
I've
oh
always
my God,
suspected.
that's very-
Nothing going on before I was born.
It's so narcissistic now that I think about it. Like the only other things I could find that were even like the Broncos weren't great, and there still wasn't a baseball team playing in October. That's the only thing.
Whoa, how history repeats itself, huh?
So I reached a little further afield for something from this day in history. October 8th, 1871, 146 years ago today. It had been a really dry summer throughout the entire Midwest, especially in and around a town called Peshtigo, Wisconsin, which is, this is Michigan, this other mitten is Wisconsin, and Peshtigo's right in here along Green Bay. I think I got those backwards. Well, whichever.
All right, the listeners are really missing out. That's why you got to come to these live ones. All right, lots of geography on your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I think we're all following now.
Yeah. What was also happening that day, there was a prairie cyclone coming up from the southwest. Just a giant storm. And yeah, exactly.
You guys in it now?
Yeah.
All right.
Set the scene a little bit. And around this time, there's construction going on outside Peshtigo on a railroad. And so there's a bunch of spare lumber lying around, and one of the railroad workers sets off a spark. And this is how a small fire started that over the next couple hours grew to be 50% larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. And as this fire gets started, that cyclone hits, and the winds are going over 100 miles an hour, and they're constantly changing direction.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, so Peshtigo, Wisconsin, 20,000 people maybe. The entire town is destroyed in under an hour. Like, there are stories of the fire sucking all the oxygen out of the atmosphere. There's this one story I found where this guy carried his wife away from the fire to safety and then looked down and realized it wasn't his wife and then went insane. That's how the story... That's literally the one sentence of story I got. Which also, it's like, maybe double check before you leave. Sheila, right? Cool. And then flee the fire.
Any woman, just come with me.
Someone, please. I'm so lonely. Actually, I pulled this from the Peshtigo Marinette Eagle at the time. Just this sentence from a news story that I loved. The fire fiend was holding high carnival, having selected the towns of Peshtigo, Marinette, and Metacane as its prey. Which, it's a shame that newspaper office wasn't burned down either.
Guy hates carnivals, huh?
The Peshtigo, Great Peshtigo Fire, as it's called, killed between 1,200 and 2,500 people. We'll never know the exact number because the Hall of Records was destroyed in a fire. Funny enough. It is, to this day, the deadliest wildfire in recorded history, and it's not something a lot of people actually know about. And that
they're all dead.
Well, yeah, that
in a
that
fire.
too. But also because that same night, just down a little ways in Chicago, October 8th, 1871, in the barn of Mrs. O'Leary, some fucking cow kicks over a lantern and starts the Great Chicago Fire.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which only killed like 300 people, so like pretty good. Chicago Fire, maybe. That's not how we
so
judge
we're rating
these things.
fires right now, okay.
So these are actually just 2 of 5 huge fires that start in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan that same night. And also a Chicago journalist later admitted to making up the story about Mrs. O'Leary's cow.
So that's totally fake.
Yeah, the cow was heard to say fake moos. Okay. Dayquil. Okay. But so these were all basically small disconnected fires, but that same storm hit and whipped them all into 5 major fires. Plus, it was dry as hell. And at this point in American history, like, everything is made of wood and grain alcohol, basically. But there are some people who, even to this day, are like, these all have to be connected. And the prevailing theory among those people is that a comet that was passing overhead broke up, and the meteors from that comet landed and sparked the fire. It was Comet Biela. And most... Biela. I think that's how you pronounce it. Most astronomers and meteorologists say this theory is bullshit because meteors aren't hot enough when they hit the ground to start that sort of fire. I personally like the theory that it was Mrs. O'Leary's cow. We just didn't look... We cleared her a little too early, you know?
Yeah.
Some sort of cow rampage.
You just really want to blame the cow.
Yeah, some sort of cowspiracy.
Dayquil.
That I stand by that one. Actually,
Cowspiracy. So that was the fake news.
That was the fake. That's the thing I love on the revisionist is when the real history is just crazy enough that making up an alternate is almost like pointless in a way. But that is the story of the Great Peshtigo Fire of 1871.
Wow. Crazy stuff.
But are we ready to bring up the first show?
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So I guess now we're going to be bringing up all the other Denver podcasters up here. And the first one is going to be Megan and Paul. They do the Denver Pizza Podcast. All right, guys. You want to get you guys up here? And we'll let them take the reins on this. All right.
Megan is passing out some pizza. Go ahead and take a slice. We asked for small slices.
Really nailed that distribution. So that'll just pass that along. Hopefully it gets... I opened it and I thought, what if there's something like a human eyeball in there?
Yeah, we
I have
didn't
no
check.
idea what's in there. Okay.
From salami on South Broadway to sauerkraut, also on South Broadway. This is the Denver Pizza Podcast, the only show hungry enough to review every pie in Mile High. My name is Paul.
And I'm Megan.
Hello, everyone. We're so happy you're here. This is great. How exciting is this?
Yeah.
Live pizza.
Real live pizza. So if you're hearing my voice, you could be eating real live pizza right now.
So we are the Denver Pizza Podcast. I also do another show on the network called Changing Denver. Not going to be doing a performance or anything tonight, but it's available on Apple Podcasts like the rest of these shows. Recommend you check it out. It takes a lot of time and effort, so
Yeah, you may have
thank you,
read him
everybody.
in Westward recently.
Well, normally we start out the show with a pizza question for our guest, but since we have all of you here, we figured why not take advantage of all your great pizza minds. Is anyone particularly enthusiastic about pizza that wants to have a question directed towards you about pizza? Anyone want to opine? We've got one in the corner here. There's a mic right here for you, Brad. Brad, I've been wanting to ask you this forever, actually.
Cool. I'm excited. Love pizza.
This is Brad from the Real Nerds podcast. You'll hear from him later. Anyway, Brad, pineapple as a topping, abomination or appetizing?
Oh my God. I'm so glad you asked this.
Grown.
It's a little
Brad?
extreme.
Was it abomination or what?
Appetized radish blade. You've got a friend in Megan. She loves pineapple.
Yeah.
As longtime listeners would attest. All right, so what you all are dining on right now is Megan. You want to introduce the place? Normally I do it, but you go ahead.
Well, we're eating Famous Pizza tonight, aka just a few blocks to our south. The venerable institution opened in the 1970s. Will be no longer with us before next year. They're leaving town. Their rent went up. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of a sad story. I think boo hiss indeed. I'm not sure. Yeah, rent went up. It's too bad that this happens. I think it's an all too common story around the city right now. But it's perfect for us because we get to be topical, which never happens in the pizza world.
Yeah. Topical with no toppings. That's a cheese pizza.
So what do y'all think about the Famous Pizza? We'll give our opinions in a minute, but any shouts?
We get an applause-meter. Applause for Famous Pizza.
Tepid.
All right, yeah, no.
You think excited?
I think for Sunday evening, that's
Absolutely appetizing. Pizza can have whatever it wants on it. That's what's great about pizza. Put whatever you want on it.
Well, okay. Well, maybe not everything. That seems like
that's a soulful nod for Famous Pizza.
A soulful nod. Well, people respect the tradition, and pizza place might not go in there, whatever replaces it. Yeah. So Megan and I were talking about this while we were there earlier, right before the show. When we moved here, which was a few years ago, February 2015, a couple years, we would walk down South Broadway, and in this 2-block stretch that apparently they're now calling the Heart of Broadway, which is just a wonderful little poetic name that means nothing. There were 3 pizza places in this 2-block stretch. There was Pie Hole, Walnut Room, and Famous Pizza, and now the Walnut Room is gone. Famous Pizza's leaving. Pie Hole's last pizza standing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's right, Megan? We went there. We went there with our friends Mark and Mel.
Yeah. Well, in the sense that they've won out, they're like Pizza Supreme in Last Man Standing.
Market tested.
I don't want to spoil too much, but I enjoyed our experience tonight more than I expected to.
All right, let's get into it. Let's take our first category. It's customer experience. Megan, can you describe what it's like to go in there and what it's like inside and how you felt about it?
When you approach, you can see signs in the window painted with Famous Pizza. If you're walking,
painted signs is so nice, right? That's warm,
nice typography. I think it's like a yellow. And can we say what we got at this point? We got 2 slices.
Yeah, we ordered by the slice, but I think that's the other important thing about customer experience. It's clearly a by the slice place. We ordered a pie to go, but I don't think that's the way they're making their money. I think they're living on the drunk crowd, late at night, walking up and down after shows on the high dive.
Yeah, that seems about right.
So there was about 4 or 5 clearly cooked or much earlier today pizzas in the window, and we each had a slice from there.
Well, the other thing about customer experience is you get an ample opportunity to doctor your slices with garlic salt and cheese and oregano and pepper flakes, but they didn't have hot sauce.
Yeah,
And
it's nice to have
they
hot sauce.
probably I feel like they cheaped out on us. I feel like people get worried that they're gonna have their hot sauce stolen, but for a lot of people, it's an integral part. So it's kind of a knock on an otherwise warm experience.
Yeah, yeah. It would feel more welcoming with more condiment options, certainly.
Do we want to do numbers?
I think so, yeah. Customer experience, I don't know. I mean, we went when the sun was up, so I don't really feel like this is a fair time to rate it. Like it's a late night spot.
On a red. Mm-hmm. So good vibes when you're walking in. You learn upon your entrance that they sell spaghetti all day for like $9.
Where can you get that?
Yeah.
Down the middle, right over the plate. 7 for me.
Yeah. I think like 7.
Yeah.
7's like my average for like it's pizza. It's pretty good. This was
Pizza
a nice
is good,
time.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next category. I think you all know what's coming. This is the fan favorite category. Should we all say it in unison? It's crust. Oh, what a wave.
We all really love the crust.
Wow, what a vote of support from the audience.
Yes.
Okay, so crust. This is going to be the most controversial category. Megan, you said you already liked the pizza, but I've been holding back on this one. Tell me about the crust. What's the style? What'd you think?
I think it's like that doughy, fluffy crust that is best hot, and if you let it sit for like too long, then it gets kind of like harder and harder, and it's like you have to eat it hot, otherwise you're just going to be like... It's like cement, quick sitting cement, I think, a little bit. But like light
where you're going
and
here.
flowery and chewy when it's hot.
Yeah, I didn't get any light or flowery or fluffy or anything good. I thought this crust was pretty bad, actually. I would say more rubbery and tough and unpleasant. Sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Also, sorry, Famous Pizza. It's sad you're leaving, but this is what you're making. So,
Wow. Hashtag...
2 facts.
Wow, no. Throwing bombs here in the heart of Broadway. How...
And stuff, it was better. There's like a nice crisp. There was nothing that offensive there, but around the ring, it was just so hard to get through.
It was
the Denver
hot.
fold was essential.
Well, this is why they needed hot sauce, because their crust wasn't good enough to not have hot sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They had like Cholula, and that was hot. I would have just powered through. I mean, I still did, but I would have done it faster, which good, right?
Did we finish our crust?
I finished mine. I wasn't paying attention to you.
I think I finished it too.
Okay. It's like
If you don't finish, I mean, it's hard to give it a good score. It's an important way to. Anyway,
I think it's like it's a mix that other places have. What their crust is. It's just like generic pizza dough mix.
Yeah, it reminded me most of Pie Hole, which is odd, right down the block. And if
Well-
I'm putting those up against each other, if I'm making that choice, walking down, drunkenly stumbling after a concert, I'm going to Pie Hole.
No. I'm going to make a quick pitch here, but it gets a little bit into pizza overall. This was like the pizza of our youth, I think. This is like eat it in the bowling alley, like I just finished reading club and my teacher's throwing us a party kind of pizza.
So not something you choose intentionally.
Not, it's... Dare you. Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
too harsh.
Let's split our crust category into 2. We got around the rim and we've got underneath the toppings. I will say that underneath the cheese,
It's its own genre that is now imbued with so much emotion and meaning and history.
Okay, all right. What does this meaningful,
Pizza by
historic
you.
pizza crust get you in terms of a number?
Oh, gee. I think like a little below average. I'm going to go 6.
That's so generous. This is a 3 crust for me. Again, sorry, Famous
Wow,
Pizza. Sorry.
boo. You're
3 out of 10.
You know, were you born in Denver or did you move here? I bet you moved.
Time for category number 3. First generation Denver native. Proud to say it. Okay, so category number 3 is pizza overall. Here I'll describe what we ordered. We had 3 slices between us, 2 plain cheese, 1, I forget what, Megan, what'd you get?
Pepperoni and sausage.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think? With the crust that was less than average.
It was good. I wasn't ordering what I thought I was ordering because I thought I was ordering one of the pies in the front, but they just like threw pepperoni and sausage onto a slice
They
of
did?
plain yeah, and they cooked it on. I watched them do it, and this is a risky move. Long-time listeners will know. We've developed a set of feelings on this, which is generally if you're throwing
This is not a
toppings
best practice.
on the pizza, it's less good as a final product.
Mhm.
But it turned out good, and in particular, I like the sausage.
Yeah. Well, that's good. The cheese for me, the bad crust kind of ruined the whole thing. Didn't like it at all.
I thought
the pizza overall, yeah.
See, people didn't really like the
Yeah.
cheese. Oh, the people are with me. This feels great. This never happens.
All right, let's finish off with a number and then round out with our final rating. For me, the pizza overall was a 5.
Okay.
Mhm,
It was the pizza of my youth. I felt kind of good about it. I felt like this is what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have ate. I might have said this about other pizza that I've eaten in Denver, but I felt the strongest about it in Famous Pizza tonight, because Famous Pizza looks like at one time it could have been next to a sewer. But I say, okay, overall rating, I felt positive. I'm going 8.
8. Okay, so normally we round up by saying how much it cost and would you go back given that cost and how much you like the pizza. But with this place, it's kind of irrelevant since it's leaving.
So we're sending the pizza to heaven or hell, right?
Oh gosh, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're going to give our signature sign off and thank the nice people for coming.
Yay. Super Pizza Friends out.
Thanks.
Thank you to the Denver Pizza Podcast, everyone. One more time for them. Now we're about to get real nerdy with it. Please.
Cheese, and then here we're going to have to get a second applause meter, but I thought the cheese was kind of flavorless. The sausage pepperoni kind of carried the day a little bit for me.
You think? Okay. Cheese, applause-o-meter.
Give a warm welcome to Beyond the Trope, everyone.
If you want to watch grass growing, listen to this. Yeah. You have a computer, dude.
If any of you want to motivate me, you should check out my blog and leave me a comment telling me to stop being lazy.
You know, I used to be as skinny as this microphone started.
Penguin.
I'm wearing a website.
A website?
I am wearing a website.
I'm wearing a website.
That's why it's so awkward.
Hello, everybody. We're Beyond the Trope. I'm Giles.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Michelle.
I'm starting a stopwatch.
Oh, awesome. This week, we're going to be talking about some really awesome stuff. We're talking about story media. How
should we maybe start with what we do?
Well, yeah.
Give a spiel already.
Everybody knows that already.
We should
I'm
maybe
kidding.
start with what we do.
We're a podcast for nerds. We talk about awesome storytelling and nerdy things like comics, video games, movies.
It really just means that Giles says something and Emma and I go, no. That's not real.
Actually, that's about 90% of our show. So,
I mean, to be fair, I also say a lot of things that neither of you know about because I'm like uber nerd of our nerdery.
Is it because you're so short?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, thought
Yeah.
so. Not
Anyway.
as much space for other things.
Thanks, Michelle. Okay, now you can continue with
okay.
what we're doing
now I
tonight
can
specifically.
We're talking about nerdy storytelling media. So we're going to talk about books as a storytelling medium and movies and then video games.
Why are you
Hopefully
looking
it just
at me?
turns into a huge argument.
I mean, when does Giles do almost anything not terrible?
That's a good point. Well,
When I started this podcast.
Okay, fair. Whoops. Okay, so that was video games. Michelle, do you want to do books?
Maybe I will. Books are the cheapest, most portable way to get away from all of the crappy stuff in your life.
Truth.
You're not supposed to be agreeing with
Oh
that.
my goodness.
You're defending video games.
I'm just so good at this.
And so that leaves movies and TV to me. And movies and TV are amazing because they're super accessible. And some of our most iconic pop culture moments have come from that medium.
Except you have to pay money for them. So are
You
they
have to-
truly accessible?
You don't have to pay money if you get them from the library.
You have to go to the library and get a library card.
You have to do that for
That
free
takes
books,
gas. No, you just take them from your friends. You have your friends that drive to your house.
You
and
can
bring
also
you
do
the
that
books.
with movies. You're not going to win the
But
free
what if you don't
argument
like the same movies?
Then movies aren't for you, but there are people who don't like to read, so books aren't for them.
They're doing it wrong.
I mean, I can't really argue that because that was
Usually
kind of
what
the
happens.
goal.
Yeah.
Okay, opening statements?
Opening statements. Video games are awesome and they're a great way to tell stories, but not
I
the
think
only
that's
way.
a terrible opening statement.
Also a bibliophile, but I'm going to try and argue that because I'm supposed to.
Everybody knows that movies rot your brain. My
So
mom
let's-
told me so.
Wow, really?
Let's dive in a little bit deeper for Emmer and talk about movies and movies and TV shows storytelling. What do you like about the storytelling methods used in both movies and TV shows?
I mean, a lot of the storytelling methods used in movies and TV shows are similar to the storytelling methods used in books and video games.
Right.
Like, you go through the same story arcs, you have similar characters, so, I mean, a lot of it comes down to the specific content we're looking at. The thing I like about movies, like I said earlier, is that they tend to be more accessible. They're cheaper than video games. They take less time than books. But you can get similar stories for most people. I'm talking
that they stole from the books.
Not always, but mostly. But then you have things like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was not stolen from a book and was amazing.
The TV show, not the movie.
Correct. The TV show, not the movie, that does not exist.
Shyamalan can suck it.
I refuse to acknowledge that movie
like
exists.
those Star Wars abominations that happened.
Yeah, the fan films.
Yeah, the fan films.
Yeah, they also don't exist. Nor does the Aragon movie.
Agreed.
But back for accessibility, they're cheaper than video games. They generally take less time to get through than books. They don't always movies, regardless of where you are or what disabilities you might have or any of that things. Movies can be enjoyed and connect people regardless of those sorts of things.
And what about engagement in the story as opposed to the engagement that you'll have while reading a book?
It depends on the person. Because some people get really engaged with the visuals in a movie and can't necessarily concentrate on the book for very long periods of time. But then there are other people who sit down and watch a movie and fall asleep or zone out and can't focus on the movie because they're used to the world building in the books or things of that nature. So it depends on the people, but I think for the most part, engagement tends to be slightly higher. I don't know, I'm pulling things out of my butt.
Please don't.
But that's what I do on this show, is I make things up.
Counterpoints, Michelle, since you were arguing with her the most.
Since I argue with everyone all the time.
That's true.
Well, let's see here. With books, instead of just sitting there and watching how someone else thinks things happened, you get to use your own imagination and increase your own intelligence while working that brain muscle.
Generally come with the stigma of playing it on easy that video games do.
Right.
If everyone's okay if you have to watch a movie with subtitles, that's fine. And you can enjoy...
And you get to be more immersed in the plot line and with all of the characters, so you gain more from the experience of reading a book than you do from just watching what someone else thinks is cool.
But I mean, you're just reading what someone else thinks is cool, so...
No, you're reading what they suggest to you possibly happened, and you fill in the blanks with your imagination.
What if the book doesn't end the way you wanted it to? Do you write a new ending?
That's when you start writing fan fiction.
Fan fiction also fills in the plot holes for movies and video games. Not that I'm doing that right now. What are you talking about?
It's okay. We know you don't really have a life.
It's true. Giles?
Yes.
What are your arguments for video games?
Or are you just trying to avoid it by
He's trying to avoid
interviewing us
it.
about it?
I don't avoid anything ever.
He actually realized that video games just aren't as cool.
No, video games are awesome, in large part because you can actually influence the story in a lot of games. If you're getting away from the AAA features like the 10,000th Call of Duty or the next Assassin's Creed, you can sit down and actually get engaged in a story, a longer arcing story, and influence the outcome.
What's really long with the 3,000th? Oh my God, I can't say
What
words.
are words, Michelle?
I don't know. How about 3 millionth? Yes, I can say that word. 3 millionth Assassin's Creed. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a video game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do people even play them anymore?
But there are various types of storytelling video games that are actually and has to dig through articles in the house to find out where her sister went. And it's just following this little, rather engaging story about a high school girl struggling with what her identity is in the early 90s.
So what percentage of video games are actually storytelling like that? And
that you
what
have
do you
influence
actually
over?
play?
Video games that I play tend to be mostly storytelling type games. Fallout 4 is a good example of lots and lots and lots of side stories and main stories. Dishonored, the Dishonored series, is following a storyline as well. But it's also action gameplay to mix in with that. Most of what I choose, though, is storytelling based.
Except whenever I come over to your and Emily's house and you're playing Fallout, you're just building things.
Or shooting things.
I swear, all he's ever doing, he's like, I'm building this complex. People are going to fight in it. It's going to be like Gladiator. Awesome, dude.
The story is that I have created a wasteland awesome camp, and people are going to die at my whim.
That's so precious.
Wow.
Because they don't do it in real life. Because I'm not a serial killer.
That's what he says. Don't believe anything he says, though.
Also, we escalate very quickly on this show.
Or not quickly enough.
Very quickly. So we've got like a minute and a half left.
Some games that are specifically about telling a story. One that I picked up for free through the PlayStation Network was Gone Home. And it's following the story of this girl who comes home from college.
Do we have any conclusions? Because I don't think we do.
Let me see. I did some research. Let me see if I covered all my points. Because I do research, because I'm pathetic like that.
Michelle's the only one on the show who actually prepares.
No,
and Emily, our producer.
Emily prepares, but she's not always on a mic. You don't have to buy any fancy equipment to play a book.
What if you don't have working eyes? Do you need to buy new eyes?
No,
I have to buy my glasses.
Listen to an audiobook.
I have to buy glasses because I can't do audiobooks.
You have your mom read it to you. Do you still talk to your mom, Giles?
Occasionally, but I don't want her to read books to me. I moved out for a reason. I love you, Mom, if you're listening.
Okay, so our
She's
conclusions
probably
are
not.
basically different media for different people. Yay.
Yeah, I know. I think I stole one.
You did. I mean, we all are authors of one form or another.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Fan fiction.
Novels.
Although your
technically,
fan fiction
my
is
fan
longer
fiction
than
is a
most of the
novel.
stuff that we write.
It's 65,000 words now, guys.
She has a problem. It's called not knowing when to stop writing.
It's true. I have too many projects, and they're all ridiculously long.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to bring up the next show.
So much, guys. Thank you. Beyond the Trope. All right. So the next podcast on the network, he was given Reader's Choice and Westworld.
You have all made it to the dance. You have all made it.
Coming to you from the X-Axis, it's John of All Trades with your host, John X.
Hello! Welcome to the John of All Trades podcast segment of the Denver Podcast Launch. I'm your host, John X. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you back once again. That's how I open every show. We have more than 150 episodes where I feature people from all across the employment spectrum, talking to them about what they do, how they do it, what makes them successful. We've had everyone from tattoo artists to comedians to entrepreneurs to Wall Street guys. It's all across the spectrum. That's why I call myself John of All Trades. And what comes up on this show a lot is that if you are doing a creative endeavor, if you have something that you love that you're passionate about, typically you're doing it as a side hustle and you have a day job. So we're going to bring back one of our other hosts and we're going to talk about his day job. You know him as the host of The Revisionists. He's also a comedian, a writer, and Dayquil enthusiast and hummus enthusiast. Brian Flynn, please join us out here.
Best podcast of 2017. All right. He has a great show. Give it up for John Ekstrom, everybody.
Brian, thanks for joining us. You are the pastry chef at Crema.
Yes, I am.
So are we well past your bedtime at this point?
I fortunately am in a sort of semi-managerial position, so I don't have to schedule myself to open anymore.
Well, okay, as pastry chef, though, typically aren't you getting up like at the butt crack of dawn?
Yeah, typically I'll usually get into work around 4:30 or 4 in the morning.
Okay, that sounds horrifying.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
And as someone with two small kids, my kids are 3 and 1, I know from 4 a.m., and I know that no one's functional, and yet you are making food to be consumed by the public. Should we be worried?
Well, I'm doing that in an environment that is surrounded by coffee, thank God. But, I mean, it's also, when you're going in that early, things become so habitual.
Right.
And so much muscle memory is involved.
You're almost doing it by rote at that
Exactly.
point. Okay, so take me through what a typical day looks like for you. If you are getting there at 4 a.m., take me through the tasks. What are you checking off, and what are you doing by rote?
So typically when I'm getting there, I'm also the first person in there.
Right.
So I'm going through, making sure everything looks okay, making sure none of the windows are broken or nothing is stolen.
Does that happen frequently?
It's happened 3 times in the 2 years I've been there, so not frequently, but enough where I'm like, I should double check.
But it occurs.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Pull those out in the morning to proof.
To proof?
Yes, to rise, basically.
Okay. Sorry, you're getting all insider info on me in the baking world.
Right. Of course, sorry, I'll probably throw out a lot of those terms. Some of them, I don't even know what they mean. Yeah. But, so I'll pull those out.
Again, food for the public, Brian.
Yes, right. It's all here. It's a tell-all. So I'll pull those out to proof. And at the same time, I'll start mixing the next day's baguette dough. I'll be baking off the pastries, which we'll make very large batches, and we'll freeze them and pull them as we need them. So cookies, cinnamon rolls, scones. I'll make sure the croissants that we made the day before are also proofing and getting ready to bake off.
Okay, a quick digression. I have a question about this.
Yes.
And I promise this will relate to what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for City of Golden, not managing their baseball fields. I didn't manage anything. Mostly I just drank Gatorade and ate donuts. But
that sounds like a baseball manager.
That's tough but fair. So what I did was we had a chalker, and we
then what we'll do is for our sandwich bread we make just demi baguettes.
Okay.
So we'll let those sit in the refrigerator overnight before we bake them off. So
4 of them, because you don't let 18-year-olds with expensive equipment. But we used to have to pour big bags of chalk, and there were warnings. It was like it was made in California, where there were disclaimers and warnings about getting cancer. And, you're a dumb kid, so you're just breathing it all in.
Right.
Do you ever worry about breathing in all the flour that you're pouring?
Like we did when we were kids, just huffing chalk dust.
You and I had remarkably different childhoods. Do you ever worry about breathing in all those fumes?
I don't necessarily worry about breathing it in. The thing about flour particles in the air is that they are the largest cause of bakery explosions.
Really?
Which does not happen often anymore. Because bakeries...
Anymore?
Yeah. It used to happen a lot more when bakeries weren't properly ventilated.
Okay. All right.
So thank goodness for Windows. But that's, like, if I breathe it in, it's just carbs. It's like, whatever.
I think that's the first time on my show anyone's ever expressed appreciation for Windows.
Yep.
Let's give it up for Windows, everyone. Big round of applause for Windows.
We are hashtag blessed for Windows.
We're doing hard-hitting journalism here, Brian, where we're doing appreciation for Windows. Keep going.
So all those things are getting baked off. So that's typically the busiest time of day when I'm running around. I'm getting icings ready, frostings ready for decoration. And then you'll let the rise for another hour or two when it's cold.
So it sounds like a lot of hurry up and wait.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be madness and then nothing for a while, which is basically Facebook time or something, or time to maybe make more food if you're not being a piece of shit.
Or write some jokes, right?
Or write some jokes, in theory. Part of the struggle with this day job it is so taxing physically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, compared to like just sitting in an office or things like that I almost like lack the energy when I am in the middle of work.
Okay, what hurts you most at the end of a day? Like, what on you hurts the most?
Well, I have arthritis.
Are you serious?
Because I'm 29. Yep.
And if it makes you feel better, I'm wearing orthotics in my shoes, and I'm not making that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Ow.
You son of a bitch. You set me up for that.
Got him. This is all
bang.
This is all a trap X from flips over table.
And it's over. We'll see you all later.
Making sure the doughs are getting ready because they'll take several hours to do their initial rise, and then you'll do a pre-shape where you punch it down and form it in little sacks, basically.
Okay.
So that when I am like rolling out croissants, especially cinnamon rolls, anything that is like a very motion heavy task, that gets really, really painful. My knees hurt also from arthritis. And
is this all as a result of doing like this job for this long?
I'm sure it plays a role. I used to be about 300 pounds.
Oh, shit. All right.
So I'm sure that also played a role.
Working in a bakery, odd choice for a guy who lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. I mean, the losing weight happened before the baking. I worked in a kitchen since I was a teenager.
Okay.
But yeah, it was honestly not caring enough to cook for myself that probably caused me to gain a lot of weight.
Okay, I got you. All right, presumably this is not your passion. I mean, you take some pride in your work. That's obvious in terms of the care that you have and the appreciation you have for Windows. So, given that, let's say things work out perfectly for Brian Flynn, host of The Revisionists, comedian, aspiring writer. How do you see that unfolding for you? Let's say your life has worked out exactly as you want it to work out. Presumably you're not baking anymore. What are you doing?
Ideally, I would be writing for television.
Okay.
That would be like my dream job. Not even just like behind the scenes, staff writer. Maybe write old Conan, new Conan, also Conan. I guess we can shorten that.
Team Coco.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be the ultimate goal.
I got you. Okay, so how do you see the path for that playing out? So, right? I mean, look into your crystal ball, but it's important, and not to sound like Tony fucking Robbins or something here, but if you visualize yourself having success, and that's been a theme on this show, and you're willing to put in the work, incremental steps, how do you see yourself getting there?
My philosophy has been, whenever I'm doing work, whenever I'm working on a project, do it as professionally as I can, as hard as I can, even if it's the smallest thing.
Right.
Because the theory is that the results will follow. And just try to take pride in what I do. And I hit a point long ago where, those dream careers don't always happen for people. And I have to find a way to be happy doing work that I'm proud of. And so that's what I try to do.
I think that's a great philosophy and a great approach, because when I was on JD's show, he titled the show
pilots for things and just doing my writing projects.
Favorite shows? Ones that inspire you?
I mean, I grew up on The Daily Show.
Sure.
Late night television.
Digging the ditch. And the big theme that I have with my show and my life is be willing to do the work that someone else isn't willing to do. So if you get in there and you dig the fucking ditch, and I mean, if there's 5 people here, put on the best show that you can, because eventually that work will pay off. So.
Yeah. Oh, and I've done those shows for 5 people, and they were 5 lovely people.
Did they pay you in hummus?
They paid me almost enough to buy some hummus. So
almost enough.
We'll call that a W.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you what, this was a pleasure getting to know you, getting some insight into what it's like to be a baker. You can check out my show at johnofalltrades.us, and continued success to you, my man.
You too, man.
Thanks, everyone.
One more time for John of All Trades, everyone. All right. And now is the time for music lovers and music haters alike to rejoice. Please welcome Discover Weekly, everyone.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hello, weaklings.
So, we're Discover Weekly. There's also
Internets.
Discover Weekly is a podcast about musics. We take a Spotify playlist and work a theme and then talk about that theme. A lot of the times, we barely talk about the actual music, but it's in there, right?
Yeah, kind of. I think sometimes it starts off that way, and then we end up being big-time socialist cucks.
Yeah. Our secret name for the podcast is Marxist Music Nerds.
It's not secret.
It's not
out
secret.
There. That's canon.
It's canon. I'm Chella.
I'm Daniel.
And then also, you just imagine Leighton here.
Yeah, that was his music that you just heard.
That was his music that you just heard. So, because our podcast is so based in Spotify, we kind of struggled with how to bring it to you in this setting. So we just decided to talk about a song that we're into right now.
Yeah, I'm very nervous being in front of all you people.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous too. I'm just like.
Yeah. We have day jobs. Fuck you guys.
There's normally a third member, but he lives in New York now in a place called Goshen.
Yeah.
So whatever, we Skype them in because we have technology. I'm an accountant.
Count my
Just put
podcast
that,
money.
Just put that back in here.
Yeah, save that.
Count your podcast money.
Yeah.
What do you guys like to listen to? What are your favorite jams right now? I don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
Never mind. You could tweet at us later or what, and we might respond. Probably not. I would like to talk about my favorite new song,
Yeah.
which is by a band called Floating Action.
I've never heard this. What is
You've
this?
never heard that?
No.
They're kind of quiet. They're kind of like a quiet little indie band. They've been around for a while. It's mostly just this one dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, one guy, and he does everything like kind of like a Jeff Lynne. Jeff Lynne's from Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO, as it's
That's
known.
the cool people call it ELO.
Do the cool people talk about ELO?
Yeah, still the cool people like ELO. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I like ELO, but I would
Yeah.
not say I
Yeah,
was
only
cool.
the coolest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I cool then?
Sure.
Cool. I'm done. Bye. No, I'm just
We should have planned something, I think.
Well, we did plan something, but this is it.
Moving on.
Floating Action
Yeah.
is this great band from the Pacific Northwest, and it like lights up every cell in my body, and my pupils dilate, and I'm like, this is fucking. Can I swear on this? We swear on ours.
Uh-oh.
Well, this is fucking awesome. It's this song called "Last of the Wild Cards," and it is beautiful. I mean, the instrumentation is amazing, and then the lyrics are all about just kind of putting it out, like you've reached a certain point in your life, and this is the last of the wild cards. I'm pushing 40, guys. I'm gonna be 40 in December. Oh my God, it's totally true. Yeah, no, it's true. But you get to this point, and I'm a musician, and you're like, what happened?
Should I quit?
What happened? Yeah, I tell these guys all the time, should I quit? I think I'm going to quit. I think this is going to be our last show. I'm going to quit. But this song like made me think about that, and also this particular musician's journey, because he's been working longer, like maybe a couple years longer than I have, and has achieved more success, but is also like kind of done. Like they have a couple of albums out, they're really, really good, but this new record is fantastic, and the song in particular that makes me like doesn't go anywhere. So it really struck a chord with me, this little jammer, and it's also very pretty. So I would like, I think you guys, if you're having an existential crisis, which I'm sure you are, it's 2017 and the world's shit. So you're probably freaking out right now. Listen to this song. It's like a little salve on your wound, on your world wound, your life wound.
First of all, we have to also take care of some Wisconsin business. It's Peshtigo.
It's Peshtigo, y'all. It's Peshtigo. You got two Wisconsinites over here that were literally pulling their eyelashes out with Peshtigo.
I was trying not to storm the stage.
Peshtigo. We were tweeting at each other like.
It's all we've got. Being from Wisconsin, that is. I'm going to talk about my new favorite thing lately, and that's Cigarettes After Sex.
Oh, you love
the
this
band.
shit.
It's fucking great.
The band and the act.
Yeah, well, I don't really smoke.
You don't smoke, but after sex.
Yeah. Because of all the runoff podcast pussy I'm getting.
Yeah, man. Do you guys know that we get mad laid from this podcast?
Oh, seriously. We're
It's
fighting
true.
them off.
Yeah, my husband is like,
Slow
this
down,
is getting
buddy.
weird.
Yeah. It's weird that all three of us are there, too, usually.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I've gotten used to it.
Cigarettes After Sex is super great. It's,
Yeah,
it's like fall asleep in the bathtub. Hopefully not.
That's. You want to post some Whitney Houston shit?
Yeah.
How about some Bobby Houston? No? Wait, what was her name? Bobby Christina. Just don't shake your head at me. Peshtigo.
You know, a lot of people like to drink their syrup with trap music, but I like it with slowcore.
You like it with slowcore?
Yeah, I mean, I know music to do heroin to, so.
It's true. Well, we are children of the 90s.
Yeah.
So, of course we do. But what speaks to you about cigarettes after sex so much?
That it's good?
That it's good. That's fascinating, Daniel.
Yeah,
That's fucking astute.
That's what people come here for, are like super deep takes. Yeah.
Gosh, guys, we sure know a lot. So
They don't come here for accuracy. They come here for the comedy, right?
which is ripe.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're like
Sure.
comedy berries. You could just snatch them from the tree. For those of you listening at home, I am miming snatching berries from a tree. Comedy berries.
So many snatches.
Low hanging fruit.
Somebody told me, like, it's really... What is it?
I don't know. It's like
slowcore.
Yeah, it's slowcore. I don't like to say that. I like to say shoegaze because I don't know what these.
Yeah.
I don't know these genres these kids are talking about now. Slow.
Great to listen to when I'm high.
Hmm.
And I thought,
That's awesome because we record all of our podcasts when we're really high.
yeah, kind
I
of.
am not high right now, and it's fucking with my steez, and I'm sorry. So you guys have to.
We'll get by. How much time is left?
I don't know, 85 hours.
It seems like our Type 5 is really dissolving.
It never was our Type 5. So music is an important thing, and like it's hard to do this podcast in this setting because I can't just have a playlist and be like, and the next song is, it's hard. But I would encourage you guys, if you enjoy listening to music at all, to listen to our podcast and.
Well, we hip you to like new things that we love and old things that we love, and then we riff on other ridiculous shit going on.
We don't always agree with each other, which
Never.
is great.
We usually don't agree with each other. We're all three from different worlds in music, yet we form up like a Voltron to cover everything, I think. I hate Fish, but she loves it. Who
Love
knows?
Fish.
I hate it.
I love the Grateful Dead, and I love Fish. And guess what? I'm also like a weird hipster Wu-Tang person, so... You know what? I'm a diamond. I'm a multifaceted diamond.
Yeah, sure.
And you're just, you're just a little crab in your shell.
I'm just me.
Cigarettes After Sex, which song is your favorite one?
K. No, that's the name of it, K.
Yeah, I know.
I celebrate their whole catalog, though. It's really good.
Yeah, they were just in town, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
None of us went to the show.
I was going to go, and my ex-girlfriend was like, I'm going to go to Cigarettes After Sex, and I was like, I'm out.
How many shows do you have to avoid?
Don't go to the show where your ex-girlfriend is there.
How many shows do you have to avoid in this town because there is an ex or somebody that you had weird sex with at a show?
Oh, wait.
So many.
You added
Denver's
that last
very,
part.
very small.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to like navigate your weird sex with the music that you want to see.
You said X, and then you added that weird sex, and then the number got larger because
I know.
of all the weird sex.
I mean, we've all had like serious relationships. There's a couple here and a couple there, but the weird sex, we've had way more of that than serious
and
relationships.
It's Denver. Ugh.
And it's
All right,
Denver.
Next topic.
Did we have a next topic? I was
No, I
really
think we're
working
done.
into
I
this
think we're
one.
good,
I was
yeah.
no, we're not done. We haven't gotten the light yet.
Oh, where's their light?
No, it's not coming because we still have like 84 minutes left to go. All of that just took 36
How is it
seconds.
We're always rushing to finish our podcast, but now we've got so much time here.
Because this is not our fucking format.
Yeah,
but we're
all
here
right,
because we support the Denver Podcast Network and we want to be a part of it and we want to be members even though we don't come to your meetings. It's fine.
we do pay the money, though, so what's
we,
up now?
We are the only people that have paid the money, so we don't have to come to the fucking meetings.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, we're out of here.
Love you.
Thank you so much, Shella. It's not true. I've paid the money. All right, and it's not a thing. All right. We shouldn't get talking about money. That's not why we're here. Okay, guys. That's No, I think it's fine. It just makes it sound like more. All right. Anyway, this is a very welcoming group. Okay, the Denver Podcast Network. It's not trying to exclude anybody. But yes, you do need to pay some money. Anyway, this isn't for the poor podcast, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, I mean, they did dab their heads with money. I don't know if you guys got that one earlier in the podcast. But all right, guys, you ready to finish this this podcast, this live show out? All right, thank you. All right, well, the last podcast we got is Real Nerds. All right, they've been going for over 300 episodes for over 6 years. All right, let's bring them all up. The Real Nerds, guys, give it up for them.
And
Harvey Weinstein.
And Ryan.
I'm looking for a job.
And Ryan.
Ryan's not here.
Wait, why is Ryan not here, Brad?
Well, I mean, are you seeing him? Because if so, like, I know a doctor that can
I
help
just figured Ryan was coming. Brad,
I thought that guy over there was him, but it's not. But he a couple hours ago, he was supposed to be here, but he's a police officer for Idaho Springs Police Department, and he's currently investigating a homicide. So he's got more important things to do. I
Guys,
guess.
he can live the movie Seven.
Oh shit!
He's living the
He
movie.
can be
Seven.
Brad Pitt. You can be Morgan Freeman if you want.
Okay.
I'm just.
Wait. Does that mean Brad gets to be Gwyneth Paltrow?
No.
I'm into this plan.
I'm making Brad Kevin Spacey.
No.
And I get to be Arlie Ermy.
I want Brad's
in
head
that
in a
movie?
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do we do on this podcast, guys?
Every week we go see a movie and we podcast our experience to the world. That was air quotes because I'm quoting Ryan.
And everyone can see. of
Yeah,
course.
and we've been doing it for 300 episodes, and we're easily the longest podcast here, which is why nobody listens to it, which means we've put out, I don't know, thousands of hours worth of audio that no one wanted, which is pretty great. It's also why they put us at the end, because that means we can just keep going for a while.
Yeah, we can do our regular 2-hour show.
So I'm going to read
won't
you
matter.
some passages from this biography of John Travolta. Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic-Con 2018 and beyond. I am a host, James, and I am joined as sometimes because this was over here on the shelf, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we're in a great bookstore.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, by the way, if there's anyone in the coffee area that wants to come join our little soiree, feel free to.
Yeah, you can take our seats because we were about half the audience for listeners at home.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so for usually we talk about what we've been watching and like what's new,
DVD
and
releases,
like why we hate Best Buy right now, all kinds of different things. But obviously, like we have like 10 minutes, so we're not going to do all of that, and you would leave. So instead, we're going to just review this week's movie, which is Blade Runner 2049. And usually when we start, is anybody seen Blade Runner yet? Okay, it's like half the audience. So this side, you guys are the problem, by the way. So usually we start our reviews by playing the trailer. But this is like a live thing, which is really cool. And we've got this projector behind us, so we're going to just play. You guys are going to get to watch the trailer for Blade Runner 2049. So if you guys will roll that in the back. Why aren't they? Brad, did we not do that?
No, that's not a thing we're doing.
Oh, shit. All right. Cool.
They have to imagine. Or you can bust open your phones and
like,
watch it on YouTube. Yeah, there's a bunch of like beautiful cinematography and stuff.
Yeah, like a hologram girl.
Boy doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some
Harrison
George
Ford
Walker.
shows up. Spoilers. I mean, it's in the trailer.
Yeah. So James, this was probably your most anticipated.
Ice, as we like
Dennis
to call
Vanilla
him,
Ice.
who directed my favorite film of last year, Arrival, and Blade Runner is really cool. So yeah, I was really looking forward to this.
So I guess we'll just jump into our review.
Yeah.
James, should people go see Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah, well, obviously my bias is that I really like Blade Runner. So yeah, people should go see Blade Runner. I think it's totally worth checking out. And I think one of my friends went with me and I showed him Blade Runner in like college before we were really friends, so he obviously didn't pay attention. So he didn't remember it at all, and still understood it. So I think if you haven't seen the first one, you don't have to see it going in. So, Brad, should people see Blade Runner 2049?
I'm conflicted on this one. I definitely want to see it again myself.
I'm going to fight you.
I did. I think I enjoyed it. It's definitely. What's cool is it's kind of. It adds to the mythos, which is great for a sequel. That doesn't usually happen. They usually just copy what came before. But there's also there is a bit of a reboots style thing to it, where there is old stuff that comes back as new, and it's a little more polished and the movie of the year.
Yeah,
so it fell on your birthday.
It was 2 days after. Thanks for being a good friend. And is directed by Denis Villeneuve or Dennis Villeneuve.
Less gritty than the original. Like it's a beautifully shot movie, so it just looks like so modern compared to the other one.
It didn't
and
run
so that
out
throws
of
me off.
It didn't run out of money like the first film did.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about the first one is it felt very real because it was so you know scrapped together and stuff. So
cool. Zach, should people go see Blade Runner 2049, Electric Boogaloo?
I don't know. I liked Blade Runner 1039 more.
Okay.
And then there was Blade Runner '53, which, as we all know, is when Harrison Ford fucked a unicorn.
What the fuck?
No,
I don't know.
I think
he was drinking too much of the Dayquil. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing with me, guys. I think you should. So I saw the first Blade Runner a few weeks ago for the first time in theaters. So like I'm kind of like caught up on everything now. And I was kind of lukewarm on Blade Runner. I'm not lukewarm on this film. I actually really enjoyed it. And I think it's because, as Brad said, it feels new, but also kind of like grabs the gems from Blade Runner, the final umpteenth cut. And I think it's really great. I think Gosling's amazing in this film in a role that I don't know, like, it feels like it should just be a standard sci-fi role, and it ends up becoming, like, it elevates above that. Ford's good. Jared Leto is Jared Leto. And
Jared Leto overhyped for made more money in a day than the first movie made in its entire
run.
Yeah. I was so surprised when I read the grosses because, like, starting on Friday, every showing I wanted to go to, like, I would check the Alamo seating chart, and there was almost sold out. So I figured this was going to be huge over the weekend. And then when I checked on Saturday and said it was like 20 million under their projections, I was like, is that just an Alamo only thing?
I don't know who's projecting like $60 million for a over 2.5 hour long like moody sci-fi film that's rated R based on a like cult classic from the 80s. Like why are we expecting this thing to?
Well, they spent 135 million as the budget, so
these people are all fine. They're going to be okay. Like nobody's going to make a sequel to this thing anyway, so it's not like we needed it to make $1 billion. You know?
Yeah.
Either way,
he just made me think about the ending.
We can't talk about the ending.
No, we're not going to talk about the ending. But
okay.
As far as sequels go, I like it.
They could.
There's a place to go. I'm surprised with the way it ended. You know that there could be like nowhere else to go. So that's really vague for everyone to hear. But I just wanted to get that out there.
This movie has an end and could have more, but also could not.
Yeah.
I the smallest role in the film.
Yeah, and I think you should go check it out. I mean, like nobody else is, so you know.
Pshaw. All of this news about it not making enough money. So I'll put my cards on the table. I adore this film, and I actually think that it makes the first one better. I think what this movie does to sort of the world of Blade Runner is add a lot of depth that the first film couldn't. Oh, man, I can't even say that. Shit. This movie is impossible to talk about without spoiling. There are some things... you're all going to hate me. There are some things that this film does and some scenes where characters say stuff, and you're like, that's a really interesting way to describe that to make me, feel for these people in a way that I didn't in the first film. And that's not useful at all. But when we really review this on this week's show, you can like listen to the spoiler section and be like, he's right. That was a very apt description that he had there.
But until now, vague is in vogue.
Yeah. No, I do. I think this movie actually makes the first one better. When you find out what this movie's about and what the actual like conflict is, I think it makes the story of Replicants a lot more compelling and makes me want to go back and watch the first one again.
That's the thing I appreciated most was that they expanded on like the world of Blade Runner instead of just copying the same story. Like I think we can say right off the bat because it's in the first 5 minutes. They tell you that is okay? Am I wrong?
No, I wait. They tell you what?
Ryan Gosling.
I don't think so. That's not in the trailer.
No, it's in the first 5 minutes in the movie. Like as soon as you go-
one human in the whole movie. I mean, genuinely. Like,
and even then, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Part of what makes this really interesting is, like, they've populated the entire film with just already replicants, so then they had to come up with a even less human version of a character in order for us to explore the idea of, like, what it means to be human.
But I enjoyed how bold it was because, for years, the original Blade Runner, everyone has that side theory of, like, Deckard's a replicant, right?
Right.
And this movie kind of starts out just saying, like, okay, well, what if that movie... like if he had been a replicant, how would that have transpired? And so it's almost like they started the movie showing you like, that whole question, like just building off of that thing instead of, making the movie about Deckard again.
Yeah.
And then like confusing that whole mythology. They just built a new one, which I appreciated.
Dennis Vanilla Ice has a very unique vision. He loves to shoot through windows That's a great thing.
Yes, he does.
If you see the pre-show for Blade Runner at the Alamo, it's fun. It's like a whole reel of it. The scope of this film is amazing, and like the mix of CG and practical. Like obviously, it lies more in the CG realm, but we get enough practical to where I'm
Watch the movie. It's
okay.
in the
All
first
right.
scene.
I would. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Ryan Gosling is a replicant, and that's
Yeah.
not like a secret they're hiding.
No.
It's part of the new story.
There's only like
comfortable in that world because like one of the things I love about the first Blade Runner is obviously its visual aesthetic. Its ability to transport me into that world, which is built primarily on practical sets and miniatures.
Are they telling us to run away?
Are we done? No. Okay.
Oh, man. Ignore him. We're the last one.
Where we're going, we don't need timers.
Oh, what's that got to laugh?
I know. I feel so special. No, so for them to expand on that using the technology that we have today was amazing. I'd love to actually watch this in 3D if it's available in 3D, which I'm not sure.
That'd be a great way to ruin this film.
I think it's just an IMAX. That's the only other thing.
Okay, well then I'll watch it on IMAX and make myself believe I'm in that world.
Yeah.
But he also I forgot in the 4 weeks since I saw the first Blade Runner that Blade Runner is first of all it's sci-fi noir.
Yeah.
So I forgot. Oh, it's dark and depressing, and people like to punch their feelings out. And one of the scenes in the trailer, when you find out what it actually is in the movie, that's the point in the movie where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot it's Blade Runner and it's dark and the world sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's amazing to watch.
It's actually pretty good. Like when Harrison Ford finally shows up, the whole movie shifts. Like you spent,
wow.
I don't want to say how long, but you spent a while just kind of being sad and just quietly watching this guy sadly fly.
To expand off of the first Blade Runner, because the first Blade Runner to me feels like a tone poem more or less.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a story.
And it's more about your feelings and emotions. And in this one, it expands that while still retaining that strength, because of the first big portion of the film is just Gosling and Princess Buttercup. And I appreciated that they were able to maintain that tone from the first one while at the same time giving us something new that I can chew on.
Well, I think you had to, because this movie needed to have a really good story.
It had
because
to it needed to have a reason to exist.
So some weeks ago, I showed my fiance the original Blade Runner, and I had to sort of, and I do this every time I show somebody Blade Runner for the first time, I had to sort of remind them okay, so it's the 80s. And this genre didn't exist, and no one had ever seen anything like this. You have to pretend like the visuals and this whole, thematic thing is cool and new, because otherwise the movie is just a bunch of cool set pieces and then weird Daryl Hannah. Whereas this one has a really cool story and some good action pieces and good acting and dialogue in
Rutger Hauer.
And then at the same time, it also just has why don't we just watch his spaceship found in a just desolate, horrible, gray place, and then Harrison Ford shows up, and you're like, ha, "You're great. Everything is laughs. It's wonderful."
I will say I'm amazed that this story was
fly for a while. It'll be great. So you get that too. But no, I adore it. I think everybody should go
it's
see
wonderful. And I don't think it didn't feel beyond 2.5 hours for me, even though that is the runtime. It felt more like maybe a 2-hour movie to me, but I was that engrossed in what I was seeing. There's some visual elements of this film that are just incredible. You've got to see it in the theater.
Oh, it felt like 6 hours, but I wanted to go again. So cool.
All right, so we were done a long time ago.
Oh, whatever.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
You can find us at realnerdspodcast.com.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Twitter, Instagram.
We'll be around.
So thanks,
somebody
guys.
take a mic away.
Real nerds, everybody. Thank you guys so much. All right, give it up for everybody on the Denver Podcast Network, all the podcasts you've seen tonight. Give it up for Mutiny Information Cafe for letting us do awesome things. Check them out, support them. They're the best.
Of course, I would like to apologize to the good people of, Pesto Bowl, Wisconsin?
Pesto Bowl.
Pasta dish.
All right, guys, you can find all these podcasts at denverpodcast.net. However you get your podcasts, we're there. Okay, guys? Keep coming out. Keep supporting live events here at Mutiny and podcasting in general. Thank you so much. Let's eat some more pizza. Is that famous pizza here? No, it's gone. Damn it.
Wow. Life gets in the way sometimes. I wish I could be there. Thank you for our one guest, or I guess our one fan, Brooks, was there enough, and she recorded, so I watched it.
Yeah.
And, good job, guys.
Oh, he said we did a good job.
So in my career, it's called the Oreo effect. Good, bad, good. You guys did a good job while you're there. The review left a lot to be desired, but you helped launch the Denver Podcast Network. Thank you.
There we go. Compliment sandwich.
Just kidding. Or am I? Bye.
Bye.
Real Nerds Podcast is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. The Real Nerds would like to thank the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now open in Sloan's Lake. We also would like to thank Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, especially Andrew. Our music has been brought to you by Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios. And of course, thanks to James's mother, our most loyal listener. Have a nice day. Real Nerds Podcast is a partner of Denver Podcast Network in the shadow of the mountain.
We speak.
Oh, guys, that was great.